She was already screaming before I even set my coffee down. "You can't be here! This is private HOA property!" she yelled from the end of my porch, waving some flimsy piece of paper like it was a court order. I stayed in my chair, sunglasses on, phone to my ear, letting her rant. "I'm calling the sheriff," she announced like she was dropping a bomb. "Go ahead," I said quietly. "But make sure you call the real one this time." That only made her louder. "You think you're smart? I've already spoken to the county board. They're sending deputies to remove you." She didn't know that the two uniforms walking up the steps weren't there for me. And she sure didn't know who was on the other end of my call. I kept my voice calm as I said into the phone, "Yeah, she's here now. Go ahead and pull the records." The way her eyes narrowed told me she wasn't expecting what was about to come next. The deputies stopped at the porch, one of them glancing between me and the woman like he was already tired of the noise. "Sir, we've had a complaint that you're trespassing on restricted property," the taller one said. Karen jumped in before I could answer. "Not just trespassing, he broke into this cabin. He's squatting here, using it like it's his own." Her voice cracked just enough to sound fake, but she didn't notice. I leaned back in my chair, still holding the phone. "You boys run the parcel number yet?" I asked. The shorter deputy frowned. No, sir. We were told this land belongs to the HOA." I couldn't help the small smile that tugged at my lips. "Well, there's your problem. You were told wrong." Karen's hands shot to her hips. "Don't listen to him, he's making it up," she barked. "I've lived here for 20 years. I know every inch of this place." I let her finish, then turned my phone screen toward the deputies. On it was a map, highlighted in solid blue, showing not just the cabin, but every lot in a 10-mile radius. "See this?" I said. "County records. Every single acre you're standing on is mine." Karen's face went pale, but she recovered fast. "That's fake. Probably made in Photoshop. You can't just own all this land." The taller deputy cut her off. "Ma'am, maybe let us verify before you accuse him of forgery." I sipped my coffee, knowing exactly what they were about to find. The taller deputy stepped a few feet away, radioing dispatch to confirm the parcel records. Karen was pacing now, muttering under her breath, glancing at me like I was some kind of criminal mastermind. I stayed still, tapping my finger on the armrest, letting the silence work on her nerves. The shorter deputy's radio crackled. "Confirmed. Entire block of parcels plus adjoining lots registered to a single owner, name matches the individual on site." He looked up at me, eyebrows raised. Karen froze mid-step. "What? That's impossible. No one man owns that much land unless—" Her voice trailed off, suspicion replacing outrage. I tilted my head. "Unless what, Karen?" I said it slowly, like I already knew where her mind was going. She stepped closer, lowering her voice like she was talking to herself, but loud enough for everyone to hear. "You're some kind of government plant, aren't you? This is a setup." I chuckled, setting my coffee down. "Not quite. But I do work for the government, just not the part you think." The deputies exchanged quick glances, clearly wondering what I meant. Karen's glare turned sharp. "You think flashing some fake badge is going to scare me?" I reached into my jacket, pulled out a leather case and flipped it open. The golden emblem caught the sunlight. "I don't need to scare you, Karen. I just need to finish my call." And then, without looking away from her, I spoke into the phone. "Yeah, go ahead and open the file on her." Karen's head snapped toward me, her voice suddenly louder, sharper. "The file on me? What are you talking about?" I stayed seated, calm as a summer lake. "You've been a busy neighbor," I said. "Fake HOA notices, harassing tenants, trying to claim land you don't own, and now filing a false police report." The deputies shifted uncomfortably, their eyes flicking between us. "Sir, is this related to an active investigation?" one of them asked. "Oh, it's more than related," I replied. It is the investigation. I nodded toward the yellow tape behind me. This cabin's been under watch for weeks. She just walked straight into the sting. Karen laughed nervously, but there was panic behind it. You can't prove anything. All I did was... She stopped when the taller deputy's radio came alive again. Dispatch to Unit 7. Be advised, suspect matches multiple reports tied to property fraud cases in the county. Her face drained of color. This is ridiculous. He's lying. I'm the victim here, she shrieked. I leaned forward just enough so she could see I wasn't bluffing. Karen, you called the cops on the wrong guy. The shorter deputy stepped behind her. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to turn around. And that's when the fight really started. Karen jerked her arm away, spinning to face the deputy. Don't touch me! I know my rights! She screamed, her voice cracking under the pressure. The taller deputy stepped in, his tone firm but calm. Ma'am, resisting will only make this worse. She turned back toward me, pointing like she could burn a hole through my chest with her finger. This is your fault! You set me up! I stood, slow and steady, taking off my sunglasses so she could see my eyes. No, Karen, you set yourself up. I just made sure someone was watching. The toe of her lips trembled for the first time, but she still tried one last bluff. You can't arrest me here. This is HOA property. The shorter deputy cuffed one of her wrists with a sharp click. Not anymore, ma'am. Technically, it's his property, and you're trespassing. She kicked at the porch step, yelling to the neighbors who'd started to gather by the edge of the road. You all see this? This is an abuse of power. I turned to the crowd, raising my voice just enough. What's abuse is thinking you can bully people off land they've owned for years. The taller deputy began leading her down the steps, but I stopped him. 1 second, I said, reaching into my pocket and pulling out a small USB drive. I held it up where Karen could see it. This, I said, is the footage from the last month. Every fake notice, every threat, every time you stepped onto my porch. Her eyes went wide. She knew exactly what that meant. The taller deputy took the USB from my hand and passed it to the shorter one, who plugged it into the dashcam unit in his cruiser. A small crowd had gathered closer now, whispering, phones out, recording every second. Karen shifted on her feet, the cuffs clinking, her face tight with panic. The deputy's voice came from the cruiser speaker so everyone could hear. Video shows suspect placing fake eviction notices, removing property markers, and entering the cabin without permission. Multiple dates, multiple offenses. The crowd murmured louder, a couple of neighbors shaking their heads. One older man in the back shouted, "We told you, Karen!" She whipped her head toward them, eyes wild. "You're all liars!" I stepped off the porch, my boots crunching on the gravel, and stopped just a few feet from her. Karen, the difference between you and me is simple, I said. You thought no one could stop you. I knew I could. The shorter deputy began, guiding her to the patrol car, but she twisted to look at me one last time. You'll regret this, I smiled faintly. I already don't. They pushed her into the back seat, and as the cruiser pulled away, the crowd slowly dispersed. I walked back up the porch, picked up my coffee, and sat down. The lake shimmered in the distance, calm and quiet again. I took one slow sip and let the words roll out, not for anyone but myself. I fought for this country so no one could tell me where I can't stand, especially not on my own land.